We no longer live in the age of the actor. What do I mean by that? Well, when I was growing up, you would hear people say, hey, let's go see the new Schwarzenegger movie, or the new Stallone film, or the new Willis movie. Now, what you hear is, let's go see the new Batman, or the new Spider-Man. It's the age of the character. Well, except for Tom Cruise. He seems to be the last big actor. Now, I'm not saying he's the best actor we have these days, but he is the biggest. Now, bursting on the scene 40 years ago in the film Risky Business, Tom has, been around forever. And unlike others who have been around this long, he's still cranking out blockbuster hits like last summer's Top Gun Maverick. Tom Cruise gave us the first Mission Impossible movie back in 1996. And this gave birth to the Mission Impossible franchise, which over the past 27 years has given us 7 films, including Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, which was released this past week. So, our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to discuss this film and see if it's worth your time and money. So here we find IMF agent Ian Hunt, once again played by Tom Cruise. His new mission, to retrieve half of a key from his ally Ilsa Faust, on whom the IMF has placed a bounty. He travels to the empty quarter of the Arabian desert, briefly reunites with her, and tells her to lay low. Now back in the United States, Ian infiltrates a meeting of the community, where various officials from intelligence agencies, including former IMF Director Eugene Kitteridge and DNI Derlinger, discuss an experimental AI called the Entity. Now, this Entity was originally designed to sabotage digital systems, but it went rogue and began to become sentient. It infiltrated all major defense and military systems and intelligence networks. Now, major powers are racing both to prevent sabotage and to gain control of the Entity for their own usage. Now, believing that the Entity possesses too great a threat to humanity, Ethan decides to destroy it, and with the help of his teammates Luther and Benji, he goes on a mission to accomplish this. Luther and Benji, once again played by Ving Rhames and Simon Pegg. Now, they are not the only ones trying to get this. They have to deal with Grace. She's an expert pickpocket, played by Haley Atwell. She's also trying to retrieve the key for an unknown source. And Gabriel, played by S.A. Morales, who wants to obtain the key to control the power of the Entity. So, with control of the future and the fate of the world at stake, a deadly race around the globe begins. Confronted by a mysterious, all-powerful enemy, Ethan is forced to consider that nothing can matter more than the mission, not even the lives of those he cares about most. So, let's discuss pros and cons of this film. On the pro, well, we have what we would expect, and that's amazing stunt set pieces. I mean, the chase through Abu Dhabi airport, and the car chase through Rome, close quarter fighting scene between Ethan and 2 of the baddies in the alleys of Venice. These are edge-of-your-seat stuff. And what makes it work best is that there's really little reliance on CGI. You could tell you're watching practical effects. And for the most part, that's what we have come to know with Tom Cruise. Tom's over 60. He still does most of his own stunts. This is crazy. And I know you've all seen the commercial with the motorcycle jump in the trailer. It's really pretty awesome to see on the big screen. Also, the acting is pretty great across the board from your main performers. I particularly enjoyed Haley Atwell. She plays the role of the alluring female perfectly. She's smart and sexy, she's confident, but, at times she's scared and vulnerable, just trying to figure it out to get through. It just makes her more relatable. And I always love Morales. He plays a really great villain here. Now, he's not physically imposing, but he's so menacing and so immorally evil. It's just great to see. Now, on the con side, I know I'm going to sound like a broken record because I feel like I say this every week, But my God, this movie's so damn long. And it does hold your attention. But I feel like there are parts that are just drug out for the sake of extending the film runtime. And also, remember, this isn't a standalone film. It's a part one. We still have another part of this movie. And when you get to the end of it, you're going to realize that you could have cut off so much of this film and still gotten to that point and really not lost anything. And while I do love plot twists, there's so much to keep track of. It's really hard at times. I feel like it's going out of its way to be too clever. And finally, while I understand that we have to suspend disbelief during these types of movies, there are just a few too many things that happen that are coincidences to kind of help the story along. It's like that old saying, it all makes sense if you don't think about it too hard. So, I'm going to give this movie a 6.5 out of 10. I liked it. Truly I did. But I didn't love it like I thought I would. And I kind of hold these movies to a higher standard. Tom's great in it. The acting is great, but it's not as good as the last two films. It's really a tale of two parts. The first part, it's a brilliant, tight-paced, well-done action film. Well, the second part, it's still great action, but it gets a bit muddled, and it's a bit drug out. And the plot is just maybe not quite strong enough to justify its length, its runtime. Now, I love Tom Cruise, and I always have. And yes, I understand that Tom is, well, he's a bit crazy. But he seems to really understand what his role is. He's a performer, and the fans are important to him, and I think he's sincere in this. Much like last year's Top Gun Maverick, the film begins with a message from the actor thanking us for coming to see his movie. It might seem like it's fake, but I don't really think it is, and if you listen to interviews with his co-stars, they say the same thing, that he's sincere. He wants the fans to enjoy his work. He loves his fans. He doesn't lecture us. He doesn't look down on us. He doesn't seem to despise us. He just likes performing. So I do recommend seeing this film. It does work better in the theaters because of all the great action scenes. Just remember to use the bathroom beforehand because you are going to be sitting in here for a long time. And as always, if you like what you heard, click the like button, subscribe, leave a comment. I'll answer questions for you, I'll review films, whatever it takes. And if you did not like what you heard, well, I do thank you for giving me your valuable time, and I will see you next week. Take care.